That's an odd little change to the beat there. Not sure what happened with Perplexity Radio, but welcome everybody. How's everyone doing? Welcome to a brand new week. It is Monday, September 8th. And market was absolutely hot. I mean, if you were trading today, I'm sure you were watching this one stock named OCTO, and boy, oh boy, what madness. I was actually up really early today, so I managed to watch the stock go like from the infancy stages to what the hell is going on stage. So we'll talk about that. We have some earnings names after hours, or I think we have some earnings names because on the earnings board from Earnings Whispers, we saw some names out there, but I can't seem to find the same name on Perplexity. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of research about that. And obviously hot movers on the day, such as the thumbnail, Robinhood going to the upside today, app loving also going to the upside, Robinhood actually going right back into all-time high, which is very cool. If you're a Robinhood investor, very cool. If you're not a Robinhood investor, if you previously had Robinhood shares in your account, but because of the whole fluctuation and back and forth near the $100 area, you might have been pushed out of your position. But then randomly over the weekend, I think it was actually Friday night after the market closed, they came out with the news that Robinhood and AppLovin, along with a couple other stocks, were mentioned or getting added to the S&P 500 index, so they made a pop. So a couple opportunities over there. And look, the market, well, I think closed green from what I remember. I remember market being up 0.7 for the QQQ today, but they were trending down for the whole day afterwards, but still I think closed green. We'll dive deeper into that too, and that's the point of the show. Today we're streaming on a new platform, which is Pump Fun. With OCTO, the way OCTO is playing out with cryptocurrencies very much in play, I figured why not stream to a new platform where cryptocurrencies, front and center. What cryptocurrency platform is allowing me to stream stocks or anything? Only one, pumpfun.com. Even though I'm not a big fan of everything that happens on Pump Fun, I just found it funny that they allow streams over there too. So if you are watching me on that platform, say hello in the chat. We'll be more than happy to give you a shout out over there. But our usual streams, we got TH, Dieter, and Damien on the YouTube side. Damien's asking, what's up, Prad? What alerted you to OCTO? What alerted me to OCTO is actually having a very solid base of people that I follow on Twitter. So let me pull up the person that alerted it. Valkyrie, VALKRI. You can see how I have alerts actually turned on for his post, so I know exactly when the posts go out. And in his post in the morning today around 7 o'clock, I noticed two things. I noticed Bitcoin Treasury, and then or not Bitcoin, but I heard Treasury strategy, and I saw BMNR investing $20 million. That's honestly all I needed to see for the long side on this name, and I was all systems go. I then pulled up the stock on the daily chart. Actually, I think the much cleaner charts to pull up right now would be Finviz. Finviz might be my new affiliate sponsor, so I'm gonna be playing with their platform a little bit over here. Let's pull up OCTO on their platform. Go to the weekly chart, and if you go to the weekly chart here, this is not actually looking like how I want it to look. They're missing a couple points of data, such as the pre-split marker. But anyways, you can still see how right here around $4.90, around $5, maybe we can go back to my trading view layouts and then quickly show you guys what I'm talking about over here. Go to the weekly chart, and then if you just zoom in a little bit, obviously today's chart murks up everything. So let me fix that layout. Right here, you can see how pre-split the stock was trading with some sort of a barrier. I mean, you can do the math over there based on the split, 1:5, do the quick math, whatever the math is. It was trading around that number and then kept rejecting around that price point. And then today, with the positive news catalyst in pre-market, the stock pushes up into this area and actually struggles a little bit around this area. Why is my computer dying? It's like acting a little slow here, probably because I'm streaming to so many platforms. So if you guys are seeing any dropped frame rate, frames missed, we are missing quite a bunch of frames. 0.6% of the frames are missing. So if I'm lagging for you guys, let me know. Maybe we need to not stream to that many platforms. I think Twitch can be stopped because Twitch is basically useless at this point. Either way, coming back to the charting over here, OCTO realizing that if we do start seeing some buying pressure, some support above this 475, above $5 area, this stock could go parabolic, and that's exactly how it's set up. It actually went parabolic on the break of $4, but you know, very, very parabolic nevertheless, blasting off to a high, if I remember, $86 or something. So pretty crazy. $83, pretty crazy today. I was even expecting a pullback to $5 after all of this action, looking for a pullback to 5, show me support above 5, and then rip the shorts faces off. But it just had a mission off the open today to absolutely destroy shorts and bury some accounts in the ground. Hopefully some of my friends who are actually short sellers on small caps names like these are protecting themselves and are not getting hurt. Would be horrible to see my friends losing accounts and not be able to trade anymore. But you know, I made a very, I guess you could say, controversial post today on Twitter about how stubborn some short sellers can be. You know, this is a very clear pattern to just go long, especially when the stock is holding above $5 on multiple dips. Now granted, there are some setups that you could look for the short, you could look for a capitulation, but did the stock ever capitulate? You're looking at the stock here on the 5-minute chart, and it really never did more volume than the pre-market. Look how much volume we're doing in the pre-market per 5-minute candle. 400,000 shares. We're doing 300,000, 600,000, almost 800,000, actually above 800,000 shares at 8:20 a.m. And then off the open, we're actually doing less volume than 4 a.m., right? So clearly showing you that, hey, like who's actually trading this? Maybe not as many shorts, but whoever short is trading this, they're getting beat up. And why are you even shorting this name when it didn't capitulate after this extraordinary volume in pre-market? Usually when small cap stocks, you know, have volume like this in pre-market, they have way more volume than this off the open, and then the volume dies down. When the volume capitulates off the open is usually when you catch that trade. It pulls back below the day's open and it keeps selling off and goes into the nether realm, right? Goes right back where it started from. But this is not the case over here. You never once saw it really capitulate. If you are only looking for it past the open, there could be a potential backside scalp over here, a potential what do you call it, rubber band scalp, because the stock is clearly trading multiples of his ATR. There's actually is a rubber band scalp, perfect rubber band scalp right here if you look at it. You know, one candle takes out 2 or more green candles or up candles, and that is your short right there. After it touches the Bollinger Bands too, and really you don't see that happening a lot. Maybe, oh yeah, you don't see that happening here either. It doesn't take out 2 or more candles, it only takes out 1 candle. Doesn't take out 2 or more candles, only takes out 1 candle. And you can really zoom out and look for where that happens, right? Look at this candle, touches the Bollinger Band, but it doesn't get below 2 or more Bollinger Band candles, 2 or more candles before it. So not a what do you call it, a rubber band scalp here, You could say a rubber band scalp looks like it initiated in this area with some backside, also a seller piling in around 45, but then a buyer also around 35. So right now in this area, you have a seller at 45, you have a buyer at 45, and they're basically just comparing, you know, measuring, you know what, and they're trying to see which ones is bigger, whose PP size is bigger, and eventually they found out whose PP is bigger, who's got more buying power, who's got more willpower, and the buyers was the answer. Eventually the sellers got cracked. You can see how there was one more attempt at the $45 here to keep it down. They failed, then the stop started to trigger, and then we start bursting back to the upside. So the backside in this area, it looked like it was setting up, but then it clearly failed, right? So maybe you could have taken a shot in this attempt for the short, but that failed. Not a backside scalp. A true backside scalp actually set up in this area, at which point, I mean, look at that short setup, right? Look at that move over there. If you're looking for what do you call it, not a backside, damn it, I'm forgetting the scalp setup name. Rubber band scalp setup. If you want a backside scalp setup, there's actually one in this area, which honestly is still viable, but you have to wait for the breakdown of $34. If you get short before 34 breakdown, that's not the trade entry, and you anticipated the trade, hence you lost on it. The next backside entry is right around here on the breakdown of $62, and then if you notice, it really tries to hold around 62 and then eventually cracks. Then you have another bigger backside scalp breakdown at the $55 breakdown. So you have a couple entries to get short in this area, but really no reason to short on the way up over here. If you're losing money on this run up, especially given the catalyst of this stock and given the news and you know how these what do you call them, the treasury catalysts play out, if you're losing money in this run up, I really don't have words for you. Like, you know, I'm very sad for people who lost money in this run up. It doesn't take rocket science skills to understand these patterns. All right, these patterns are very easy to understand. The problem is with trading though is having to deal with your own emotions, with money, with the fear of losing, with the fear of not making enough money as you had a target goal of. So, you know, I understand those kind of things come into play with trading, but it just, wow, what a trade today. Okay, that's enough ranting about OCTO. Monster move. Damien says, seems good on my end, and thanks. No problem, Damien. Yeah, I got into a little bit of a back and forth with people on Twitter today with my opinions, and I feel like I hurt some people, but you know, I had no ill intent. I had absolutely zero ill intent. Oh, you've been a bad short, you get spanked. No ill intent behind this message. The message was basically, you know, you gotta learn to go long. I get it, small cap stocks historically, statistically, have sold off after making a big run up like that. Any stock usually that makes 100% or more move manages to sell off and goes back under the day's open price, hence giving you some good profits to get short. All that makes sense, but you know, you gotta learn to go long too. I'm actually losing my mind over here as I listen to Android Tech CEO Palmer Luckey That's pretty damn cool. This is a long for drones after seeing this video. The drone stocks go up today. Not even a move. Not even a move. UMAC went up slightly, but not even a slight move in Jobby. That's hilarious. But this is cool, guys. Look at this. This is a $1 billion CEO flying a EV drone that he learned in 50 minutes? Under 50 minutes? I mean, that's freaking cool, dude. Come on. Imagine flying to work instead of driving to work. That's awesome. And it looks like you're sitting in a almost like a race car configuration, right? You're laying down, you're not really sitting. Looks like your feet, it doesn't look like a normal car seat configuration. Like a fighter pilot almost. This is awesome. I want one. Where can I get one? Yeah, I want this. Exactly. Where can we get one of these? Okay. Let's go to the earnings board. Earnings board brought to you by my good friends over at Perplexity Finance. Shout out to Perplexity Finance. Actually, positive news from them today that there is now Perplexity Finance on iOS and Android. So if you are a iOS or an Android user, you are now lucky because you can use Perplexity Finance, which is this tab over here. Usually on mobile, all you were able to do is just query from the app. You were not able to see this little finance dashboard, but now you have a nice finance dashboard. Oh, what happened to Apple here today? That's not good for me because I own Apple shares, but only down 1%, whatever. We have Apple on the watch list. We'll talk about that very soon. But nice little finance dashboard over here on the mobile now also available. Let's go take a look at some earnings names, starting with PL. That is number 1 on my watch list. Let me just show you the watch list for tomorrow. We have earnings names, China number 1. We got Robinhood. We throw Palantir in there too, but maybe I need to throw, oh, there we go. We actually have, that fixes it. Robinhood, Palantir, APP, IPO tomorrow, Klarna, KLAR, some small caps names going crazy. Shout out to the Rigger absolutely killing it with these names over here. He had 70k shares from August 26th going into this $100 move with what is this, Starlink and Sats deal that happened. Insane. GLD, silver not really making a move, but gold, another new move on gold over there. Semiconductors always on watch. Some of these names are going crazy, especially robotics. MBot and RR going up. Soundhound going back up again. Etsy and Goose, Canada Goose, it's winter season again, baby, and Canada Goose making a nice pop-up right before winter starts. It's actually fall coming up, but Canada Goose making a run up over here before winter starts. Cryptocurrencies always on watch, especially when you got moves like OCTO. Maybe I need to throw in BMNR because they have a deal with OCTO, and I also need to throw in SBET because they were one of those names that made the move recently along with them. Coming back down to QS, can't forget QS. I know they had a deal with Volkswagen, Das Auto, but I don't know what exactly the deal is, so we'll dive deeper into that. And last but not least, the large cap stocks. One of them is up here, so you only see 6 down here. Overall, there's supposed to be 7 of them. Okay, PL. Let's go see what PL's earnings report was. This was in pre-market. Year-over-year growth. Well, revenue was beat by 6.58%. EPS, they lost 3 cents per share. Overall matched, however, to compared to what do you call it again, estimates. I'm losing my mind because I got so many things flashing in front of me today. This Pump Fund website is so distracting. Oh my god, it's like just flashing things in front of my face nonstop. Anyways, PL, this was a name from the last quarter, from the last earnings report. I actually rode this name from $2 into $7, $6, and I got stopped out somewhere in this area. Now I'm very upset watching this name go up. 2 reasons, because 1, I was in this stock, and second reason, I was distracted by OCTO. Had I not been distracted by OCTO today, I would have for sure taken this trade because it was on my watch list. So missing out on PL today because of OCTO, god damn it. And what an absolute candle this stock has had today. So looking for a pullback tomorrow somewhere at the halfway marker. Even if it pulls back all the way to 778, you know, I'm okay with that. All the way back to $8, I'm okay with that. This stock has proven that it is turning a corner, starting to make you know, profit. They actually reported flat, but today they reported negative. But still, at the end of the day, they are, you know, growing, turning a quarter, turning the books, and things are looking good. Year over year backlog is up 245%, looking awesome. Commercial sector is up 6%. Full year revenue for the expected is looking good also. Between 7 million to break even, that's also a good thing over there. And if you are interested in the live transcript, you should have probably tuned in the morning. But just to show you guys how the live transcript looks, we can go to some earnings names that are reporting right now. There is a name reporting, or sorry, having a conference call at 5 p.m. So I'll show you guys how that one plays out. Shout out to Perplexity Finance. Awesome tool over here. And I'm pretty sure all of this is free 99 for you guys. You might not even need a Perplexity Pro account like I do. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure you don't need a Perplexity Pro account to see Perplexity Finance, which is very cool. Perplexity, AVO, this name already reported earnings. However, the conference call is at 5 p.m. The stock already reported they actually beat 61% compared to estimates on EPS and beat 11% on revenue. Looks like the stock might have actually made a little bit of a run up in the after hours over here, and look at that, indeed actually run up about 1.9%, or is that today? Let me go check what the AVO stock is up after hours over here. I'm pretty sure 1.9 is today's numbers, and after hours on AVO we are up another 3%. So very light volume name, not really a stock that does you know, good volume for a $12 name, $13 name. You want to see the stock doing way more than 10 million shares at the least, in my opinion, but it's not doing anywhere close to that on the 30-day average. With the earnings report it just reported, and the way that it's breaking above the solid consolidation range, if there is volume tomorrow, this name could be very much on watch, especially if it holds above $13. So just a quick little lookout on this name. Also see how it gives you a nice little synopsis and tools at your disposal over here. Shout out, man. Perplexity Finance has been taking over my tools every single day. You know, one more tool is not needed for me that I previously used to use on Perplexity Finance. For example, if you're interested on OCTO, who is holders of OCTO? Boom. No change since God knows when. 32% change in SBI Securities, whoever that is. Well, you are crying for selling your position. Right? Look at this. They loved what they did over there. They added 633%, or is that their change in portfolio after only $122, 98 shares? But hey, you're up now. You're up now, right? So you know, look at these awesome moves coming in from these names over here. This is actually very cool. From filings, from reported total reported value of $126,000 in this name, from decent banks. You know, Bank of America, Bank of Paris. Is that, no? That's Paribas. I'm not sure. Is that Brazil or Paris? I don't know. Citadel. Finemark? Who's that? Maybe a smaller bank or some sort. Citigroup. Raymond James, that's a big name. Morgan Stanley, that's a big name. But it's like, but they own barely anything. They own $5 worth of position of OCTO. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. They own barely anything. So the biggest name is basically Citadel. Citadel never loses, baby. Never loses. Let's go, Citadel. Shout out to you. 3,000% up on the day. That's basically a record. I don't think I've ever seen a stock go up 4,003% on the day. Coming back to PL, got sidetracked again. Earnings names report positive earnings, you know, again, another EP. It had an EP over here, and you're having another EP at the moment. So I'm looking for a pullback, looking for a high volume close trade, maybe a breakout past 971. Sadly, it's already way too extended to look for that type of a trade, but you know, it is an EP, so I might start some if it does start holding above today's high tomorrow. But I would love a pullback and a hold after a pullback. Oh, looks like it actually pulled back already in the after hours, exactly to the marker that I wanted to pull back. You see that blue line over here at that midpoint area? That's actually awesome. It pulled back exactly to the price I wanted to. The longer it stays in this area and above 770, I like the trade, right? I love the trade, and I'm looking to keep buying the dips. It sucks that it's down 13%, but that's just the way the stock moves, right? So looking forward to see how PL sets up in the next few weeks until the next quarter. $7.70 to $8 is my preferred support zone that I would like buyers to show up. The next stock, which was supposed to be reporting earnings today after hours, but I don't see anything about it, is Casey. Looks like they did report, or not sure. Maybe I need to pull up actually Benzinga. Shout out to my affiliate sponsor Benzinga. If you guys are interested in this awesome tool, check out the links in the description below. Yeah, it looks like they did report. So what's the outlook? Disclosed remains unchanged. Expects the following performance 2026. Did you report earnings? Okay, there you go. Q1 577, B estimates of 5.07, 4.567 billion versus 4.476 billion. So it looks like they beat on both sides, and the market did initially like it, but maybe something in the conference call. Let's go check out again Perplexity to see why we can't see them. Casey, is there a conference call going on right now? Tomorrow 8:30 a.m. That makes more sense. So that's why we weren't seeing Casey's name on the conference call list of names over here, on the earnings list of names. I think it'll show up tomorrow right there, along with Oracle at 5 p.m. So that's a big name tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Here's a drone name tomorrow worthy to watch. AVAV. On the last earnings report, I actually went long AVAV and capitalized the move into all-time high. So for sure, a name I'm going to be watching. You know, America actually said they're investing in drones more. AVAV is a big drone making company, so they're the biggest benefactor from that deal if it does play out that way. So looking forward to keep an eye on that, on GameStop, and a bunch of other names. Skillsoft, where is the name that's reporting tomorrow? Pre-market, not Synopsis. Is it Skillsoft? I think it is Skillsoft. Yes, it is Skillsoft. No, SailPoint. I'm thinking about SailPoint. I don't see SailPoint on here. Pretty sure they report tomorrow pre-market, and that name had a pretty good chart also. I want to see if there's a trade opportunity on that one. Okay, so we talked about PL. Casey, sadly, you know, it's got the same issue as that $12 stock we just took a look at, MVO, but, or is it AVO? Either way, the problem with this one is it's a lot more expensive. This is a $500 name that barely has any liquidity, so the spread's going to be ugly. Not usually my type of stocks to day trade with. For swing trade, you know, it's also again very illiquid, so not my cup of tea. But there is a very simple setup over here. If you're interested, if it does push into that all-time high and starts to trade above that all-time high, it's hard to fight the long at that point, right? You're getting a pop before the earnings report, which is today, and then you got the earnings report itself in the after hours, which gave it a little bit of a pop. but not really. So looks like if the stock pulls back, holds the 50-day moving average, which happens to be right at the midpoint of today, around 514, 515, potentially a move to 530. But all of this really just is boring and not relevant. You know, if you're a swing trader, the stock has less than 3% average daily range. That's not something you want to be in. And if you're a day trader, the stock might have a fresh catalyst, but it's lacking volume. So again, not the best name to keep an eye on if you're a day trader at all. ABVX, another name that reported earnings today after hours, I remember, if I remember. But more importantly, I like the chart. The chart looked great. This is at all-time high territories. A recent IPO. No clue what they do. Don't ask me what they do. Looks like health technology, pharmaceuticals. But right into all-time high and around that even dollar price of $100, with okay volume. 1 million shares with $90, 1 million, not the best. You want to see more, but looks like you know, the stock actually didn't do anything after hours after they report. So maybe something to keep an eye on tomorrow pre-market. If there is a volume spike like this one, you know, that looks like a big EP. Look at how the stock went from $10 to $90. Like, that's insane. A recent IPO that IPO'd around $11, goes from 10 to 60 and then keeps on ripping higher. So this earnings report is very going to be important. I think it's going to be important for sure. So we'll see if it's going to bring the stock crashing back down to this ranges, or if it's going to keep this rally alive. So ABVX, I'm going to go ahead and give it a purple rating for now, which is the highest rating in my watch list. But it's got to prove itself to be worthy in pre-market by actually bringing in volume and doing something crazy, either crashing to the downside or ripping to the upside. Sale point, okay volume, $130 price. Wait, this is not the same stock. This is it. Okay price, okay volume. Also a recent IPO. And if you look at the setup over here, something like this, let me just draw that up here. You just recently had a breakout on this name. So with tomorrow's earnings report in pre-market, if we're trading above today's high, that's an automatic long for me. In pre-market, if the stock is bringing volume and we're trading above, you know, I'm gonna say you're not gonna get a chance to get a long through today's high, given how earnings reports move stocks. But if we start trading above 23, which is actually earnings day high, look at that. Look how beautiful things line up like this, right? If we start trading above earnings day high around $23, that's a no-brainer long for me. If we start getting above this area and start holding around this area, I want to buy all the dips. I want to take profits into the rips, and then I want to get ready to add on the breakout for more rips. So ideas like that is what I'm looking for on sale point. Keep an eye out for that. Yes, it's a symphony. What does that mean? What is a symphony? How things work out? Oh yes, yeah, it is. You're right. It is very much a symphony. How these things line up and rhyme and tune. It's wonderful. It gets me a little hard, honestly. I love it. It's such a beautiful thing to witness on the market, these little things. And sometimes when you see VWAP lining up with like previous days highs and previous days lows, it's like, oh, wow, what a beautiful thing to witness, because now that level is just that much more important. I don't know if I can pull up an example for this. Maybe I can. Let's go to TIGR. Maybe I can. Let's see if I can pull up an example. Come on, give me an example here. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. So yesterday's VWAP, it also happens to be today's pre-market high. Off the open, we did try to rally, we struggled and we crashed and we started going right back down. Right? Things like these little symphony, as you call it, this little beauty in math. You just gotta find the beauty in it. It's such a beautiful thing. It's like Ana de Armas. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like Ana de Armas. It's so beautiful, these things to witness on the market. All right, anyways, coming back to sale point. Sale. If we start getting above today's high, above $23 on good volume, I'm interested, very much interested on this name. What is today's high? 22.50. Alright, now that IPO names, or at least the names that are going to report fresh IPOs are done, we can move to the next segment, which is China. China number one, baby. China going nuts at the moment. Baba, you might think this is extended, okay? You might say, Prad, this stock is extended. It's pushing into its 52-week high here. Why are we talking about Baba with such enthusiasm? It's because you did not zoom out. If you zoom out, look at the weekly chart on Baba. There has been a lot of slowness for stocks in China. I mean, look at that level, man. That level of just holding is amazing. There's been a lot of slowness from stocks from China that do AI in their growth. Look at Nvidia. 100% growth from the crash this year. Look at Meta, right? A lot of these names have had so much growth in this year with their AI capabilities. It's not like Baba is so far behind that they don't deserve to. It's just people were scared. The whole China tariffs, the whole delisting of Chinese names. And granted, I was one of them, right? I was very scared to buy China at these lows. And now I'm having to buy China at these highs. But even at these highs, they're still looking good to me. Nice little breakout of this area. I'm actually long 134, 135, 136 area. Like all those dollars. I have orders filled in all of that area. I don't know exactly what my average is. Somewhere in that zone. And I'm looking to add more exposure to this name. Look how it pulled back, bounced right off the 9-day moving average. Held the midday area like I wanted it to. Not as clean, but still held the midpoint of that breakout day. Pinduoduo, not really breaking out as I wanted to, merely because I don't have any Pinduoduo shares, but I still wanted to start acting right a little bit for the whole sector. That way my Baba looks better. The reason why Pinduoduo is not acting as well because is the earnings report. They did share some negative sentiment about themselves, so not understandable, but still after that report they're looking to try and hold above the earnings anchored VWAP. That's a fairly bullish thing for me. If they're managing to try and hold 125, the longer we hold 125, the longer FXI and China starts to go higher, Pinduoduo naturally gets dragged to the upside. Since we're already here, let's talk about FXI. 39.58, the 52-week high on FXI. Pretty sure not the all-time high. Yes, not the all-time high, but the 52-week chart high over here. I'm seeing some chatter about NBIS in my Discord groups. Did it go up or did it go down? 31% to the upside? Oh my god, NBIS! Why? Multi-billion-dollar agreement with Microsoft for AI infrastructure. Oh my god, NBIS is blasting off, people. Holy smokes, look at this stock now climbing. This is the part or the reason why I wanted to do these streams after hours 4:30, because we get to witness these type of moves. You're now looking at the 10-second chart. We're above last month high, clear consolidation around last month high, so getting above that is very bullish. Now any pullback above 75, 76 is looked as a reason to look long on this name. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly add I'm gonna add it over here, add one below. NBIS, why does it do that? NBIS, delete that. And then we're looking for support around 76 bucks on pullback. So watching for this name, currently going crazy. Previously I was an owner of NBIS, got stopped out for a loss once, made profit the second time. Do I still own shares of it? I don't think I still own shares of it. But I know my dad might or my friends might, which is shout out to them. Wow, man. God damn it, NBIS. How do I screw this trade up? I'm trying to see if I own any NBIS. Nope. Very sad. Very sad. 20% move over here. Today, what a generational mess up. I missed the 50% move. I missed a 30% move. And then you have a 4,000% move. We could have made millions today. Maybe not millions, but you know, you guys get the idea. $76 NBIS. Keep that on watch for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We got a new target on watch, and the inflection level 80. That's your nice and even dollar price point, 80. If you zoom out a little bit, you got your all-time high at $87. That's on watch also. 87 resistance. So pretty good levels over here across the board on NBIS. Coming back to the watch list, if I do see any other nice addition to the fumble bucket on live. Lol. Just not crying about that on live. Yeah, another good addition to the fumble bucket. Fuck, I suck at trading. Wow. I mean, what was the reason to ever close this trade, Pratt? It never got below the 9-day moving average. You were long 50s. Oh, sorry, this is the weekly chart. Oh, sorry, this is the weekly chart. It did get below the 9-day over here, and it did get below the 9-day over here. Sucks to suck, dude. Alright. Thankfully, there's a lot of money on the market to be made every month, every year. Next year will be our year. Alright. Coming back to China names. Baba, JD. I actually might need to open up Benzinga for the after hours scanner. That might not be a bad call at all. Is that not how I do it? Oh, this is how I do it. Add after hours. Is this the one I want? Calendar and newsfeed, not the one I want. Financial overview, analytics, sector, earnings, unusual, earnings gap, day trading, maybe momentum and unusual options will get me what I'm looking for. Let's see if unusual options actually picked it up. Pre-market. What was this one again? This is momentum trading. So maybe this is just for day trading. Goes to show I've never really used Benzinga, even though I've been sponsored with them. Well, that's wrong. I've used them every single day, but just not for the scanner part. I've used them for the news part every single day. Let's try to open up the options part. Where is it? And come back here real quick. My computer's acting really slow, chat. God damn. Time to upgrade computer. Oh, there we go. Oh wait, is this just a session? Oh, that's a filter. Oh, okay. I'm not seeing anything about here in the after hours about NBIS. So I don't think that scanner works for after hours. I might have to build a scanner for after hours on Benzinga. And when I do, I will be using that as... I'm surprised they don't have one just for purely after hours. That's crazy. Oh, they do. These are all after hours right here. Okay. IREN spiking after hours? Really? Let's go take a look at that. Is it above 30? I don't see it. I guess it's up 3%. It's going up a little bit. I guess, yeah, that is the option after hour spiker. Can we filter for NBIS here? There you go. 5 o'clock, 3:45. Okay, so this options activity one might be the one that I need to start watching. Maybe filter for how many alerts go off, so we have a better idea of the good ones than the bad ones. Looks like OCTO is still going in the after hours over here. Let's quickly come back to OCTO. Just getting an idea of how to use the Benzinga scanner. Probably should be doing that off stream and not on live, but hey, it doesn't hurt. Okay, coming back to my watch list. Baba, already talked about that one. I love seeing Baba go higher. For the day trade, I mean, the volume is good. Not gonna bitch about that, but I don't really want to be day trading this name. But as long as it stays above 140, there could be a very, very easy long through 141 into the high side. So look for dip buys into 140 on Baba. Not that it's actually a real inflection level. It's just that psychological even dollar price point that you ideally want to see the stock finding buyers above if it has a pullback. But today's low is an important price, so 139, 138.77. You can't ignore that area. So if you do pull back to 139 and we bounce from 139, but you already lost, I don't know, $500 because you went long on 140, then that's kind of your problem over there. You have to realize that, hey, the stock could go down to 138.50 and then come back to 140 and then go through 140. So you kind of have to go through these little checks and so on. Appreciate the behind the scenes details, Prad. Totally cool that you're tinkering with Benzinga. Hey, no problem, brother, no problem. Pinduo Duo, not really anything to do here on the day or the swing, but if you are looking to, like I said, snag some shares for the swing, 125 doesn't sound like too bad of a price point. They own Temu, right? JD, nice pop on JD today, but lots of struggle to the upside. It's still below the 200-day moving average when the FXI is actually breaking out the 52-week moving average. So that's something to keep an eye on. FXI is your Chinese large cap ETF. I'm just gonna put that one in my notes over here. What is that? 38.50, 39.60 to keep an eye out on FXI. Baidu, we talked about Baidu a couple weeks ago. I kept saying how bullish this 96, 97 hold is, and now look at that, 1, 2, 3 straight green days in a row, back to back, and the stock is up 15-20% for you in 3 days. So shout out to you for listening to me. So I guess shout out to me for giving you that call out. Very simple trade over here, honestly. China's going, Baidu's going. This one could be a little too far gone for me, so I'm not really looking to press hard long on the upside. Maybe some pullbacks and show me some strength on the dips will be better. FUTU is another Chinese name that's probably the most bullish of the Chinese names to keep an eye on. And then TIGR, another good Chinese name. This is a lower price name. Usually does decent volume, but the volume has been drying up on this one too. But always a good one to keep an eye on too if China is in play. So that's the Chinese sector over there. Let's go to some of the hot movers that we just had recently. OCTO, BMNR. Well, I'm not sure BMNR had a hot move today. What did BMNR do today? Maybe sold off because they are investing into... Oh, they didn't. They actually popped up a little bit. Okay, not bad. BMNR popped up by 4% today. But more importantly, OCTO. This will be the name that I'm pretty sure everyone will be watching. If you are interested to study a name to get an idea of what could happen on OCTO tomorrow, that is your name right there, BMNR. It had a very similar move in June, where the stock went from $13 to 260. However, it did first go into right here to 60, 70, and then went into 100. So we're not that far from, if you kind of consider this day and these 2 days to be one day, that's basically what happened overall on BMNR. So I'm expecting at least 1 day of pause, a couple of days of pause, and then OCTO to start trapping some shorts, and then start blasting off to the north side. So keep an eye out to see where today's VWAP is. We're still above today's VWAP. That's number one indication. Still above today's VWAP. Any pullback above today's VWAP and staying power above it is a long for me. So $19 right now is where it's at. Give it some time into the close. I think it's all the way up to 8 o'clock. You will see the stock develop, given how much volume this one's actually trading in the after hours also, and how much volume it traded on the day today. I would just wait until tomorrow to see where the VWAP comes in around. Right now it's at 19. I don't think VWAP is going to go below 19. If anything, it's just going to go sideways around 19 or get pulled up to 20. So anywhere above $20 on OCTO. If it stays above 20 in pre-market, that's not a short for me. That's a long. I'm watching pullbacks on dips to get long. If it's trading at 83, 100, then obviously going long at 83 at 100 is a lot harder. But watch for it on dips. How far does it pull back? There could be a short at 100, at 150, at 200, wherever it goes, whenever it goes. There could be a short from there, but I don't think it's a short in 50s and 60s and 70s if it's holding 30s, 20s, 40s. So you got to be careful about how the stock sets up tomorrow. I think this would be considered as a failure to follow through level. If we do get below this and then fail to get back above this area, that could be considered a failure to follow through. I'm not sure if it does, so don't quote me. Here's another important level, so maybe popping into 57 actually qualifies as a failure to follow through. This setup is from the Investor Underground fellows. What's his name? Nathan? Why am I so bad at remembering names today? Nathan from Investors Underground. That's one of his setups. So I'm not well versed on that setup, but it's a very good setup for shorts, for small caps. And I think this would qualify as one. If you do push into $57 and fail to show buyers above 57, that's your short right there. Putting your stop somewhere above 65 or so. So ideally you're shorting 60 with a stop above 70 for a move back down to 30, or even a bigger move back down to 20. But if 30, 35 holds, then you should look to start covering your position over there. If this doesn't hold and then this fails, you're short from here, you add here, and then you're looking for a move to 20, and if 20 fails, you're looking for a full retracement. However, I don't think that full retracement is a plausible, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't really know the future, but I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening because of how the last time this catalyst played out. Here's another name in the same sector. I'm guessing it also popped up today. It did indeed went up 5%, but a nothing burger trade, honestly. A sympathy trade overall, but a nothing burger trade for tomorrow, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. SATS. Oh, I was supposed to show you guys MVO earnings call and how it looks. Let's quickly go to AVO. Look at that. It shows up as live. They're both having their conference call right now. You can click on their conference call and then you'll get a live transcript. It's updating every 30 seconds as the AI is listening to the call. Oh, okay. Okay. So you increased by 10% year over year, and then it's transcribing it for you. You can read it if you don't want to listen to it. You can read it live. There we go. Bang, 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 bang. It's typing out as they're talking, and then it's also analyzing it for you. Show me what other tool out there is doing this for you. Show me another tool that's doing this for you. This is awesome. And if you are a nerd, you know, nothing wrong with being a nerd. I'm a nerd. I watch anime. I like coding. I like stock markets. I like watching the charts all day. I'm a nerd. Nothing wrong with being one. Not saying that in a derogatory way, but if you are one and you like reading the reports yourself instead of, you know, having a transcript and having AI do the dirty work for you, you can do the dirty work yourself. Pick a stock, any stock that you want to look at earnings for. Let's go to Mama instead. Documents, look at that, September 8th. You have their quarterly earnings report. Just by a click of a button, you can read the report, their SEC filings. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. If this doesn't get you to click on Perplexity Pro and check them out, I don't know what will. They're adding new things every single day. New things every single day. And they just added all of this now to to mobile. Shout out to Perplexity team. Let's quickly go to NBIS again because I want to take a look at the live chart. Are we still ripping above 80 or are we holding around 80 at the moment? Looks like we went to $100. NBIS up 50% now. Wow, that's insane. So a new all-time high indeed came into play. We got above $87. This stock is up 50%. High priority name tomorrow. Ideally, I would have liked to see the stock reject around this area and trade in this zone. That way we get to take the breakout of this for the long tomorrow. But now I don't get to play with that. I get to sit here and watch the stock blast off into stratosphere. 50% up on the day, so that's two 50% movers on the day that I completely messed up. Awesome, Prad. You're killing it. You're so good at trading. Damn it, dude. Holy smokes. NBIS going crazy. I guess now I need to actually revamp my levels on NBIS. 76 is no longer in play. 86 is... what did I do there? 87 is a support. Inflection level is $100, and resistance does not exist at the moment. Resistance will be found out in after hours or in pre-market tomorrow. SATS, the other small cap name, or I think small cap / large cap now, that blasted off today, has been on a run recently. So on an absolute phenomenal generational run from $28 to $100. So potentially some sort of a short setup coming up very soon for the first red day short, because this is very extended. Some profit taking and so on. This could also be, you know, the second episodic pivot. This was the first episodic pivot, now it's the second episodic pivot over here coming into play. So that could be the second one over here coming in, which means more upside is possible. So you just want to be careful of shorting this name, but eventually down the line, you know, I want to be stocking this name for a short. So SATS, 100% high priority. Oh, I'm actually forgetting another small cap name, SOGP. How did you do today? Did you continue the sell-off? You did. So today's second red day, and beautifully set up by taking out Friday's low a day. Second red day number 2. So that's a good setup to write up over here. Nice little opening range breakdown right below Friday's low, and then continue to sell off $26 to $23. Sometimes these trades are easier, you know. While everyone and their grandma in the small cap world was trying to short OCTO and getting their back bent over, they could have just shorted SOGP and ridden the stock to the downside for an easy short. I'm actually going to have to write up these names, SOGP, OCTO, and PL will be the 3 names that I'm gonna write up after the stream today. And thank God that I'm not streaming at 8 p.m. anymore, because I get to spend the rest of my night with my niece, with my dog, with myself, and you know, actually get some me time at night instead of talking to my 3 beautiful viewers that I have in the chat at the moment. If you are watching me on any other platform, please do let me know. I don't see any other messages on other platforms, so going back to talking to my 4 viewers, 3 viewers on YouTube. Love the knowledge, man. Killing it. Thanks, Damien. Thank you for the support, my friend. TH Dieter. Sounds like they went to sleep over here. Not sure where these guys are. But if you guys have any names you want me to take a look at, feel free to throw it in the chat, okay? Feel free to throw it in the chat. KLAR. I'm going to circle back to KLAR because we're going to have to do some research on that one. That's the IPO tomorrow. So quickly, let's talk about APP. This is AppLovin. AppLovin having a nice little breakout again to the upside. This is another new all-time high. Oh man, okay, AppLovin. So these are S&P 500 inclusion names. AppLovin actually broke the all-time high. Robinhood, I think, broke the all-time high, or is gearing up to. Yeah, is gearing up to break the all-time high. A lot of people have been dying for Robinhood to get added, and it finally gets added after it tickles the 50-day moving average. So, you know, very, very heartbreaking because I was in this position for so long, from $60 up to this area, and getting stopped out under $100 was very sad because now it's popping right back up. But hey, that's your trade right there. If we start getting back above 118 and showing you buying above 118, reason why I'm saying 118 and not just today's high or the all-time high is because you want to see buyers coming in above 118. If buyers are not stepping in above the resistance, above the new all-time high, then do you really expect the stock to continue keep going higher? The answer is no. It's not going to happen. So if buyers come in and defend 117.70, that's great, but I want to see them defend 118, step up, buy 118 and higher. In that case, you know, maybe we start seeing 120, 125, 130, not in one day, but just over time. So that's something to keep an eye on. Go ahead and study previous S&P 500 inclusions like Palantir, MSTR, maybe not MSTR, but Coinbase, previous S&P 500 inclusions. Go ahead and study those charts. Palantir, just stuck in a box at the moment, nothing really special. But eventually the resolution of that box will be something to keep an eye out for. So make sure that you have that one on your watch list for eventually whenever that happens. GLD, another new all-time high. Can't stop, won't stop, can't stop, won't stop, can't stop, won't stop. SLV though, setting up for possibly a breakout and then also join GLD for that run. So I feel like GLD is a little too far gone for me, but SLV might be something to keep an eye on. 38 or higher, that's your under over number, 38 or higher. Already talked about NBIS. I'm looking for a move in other semiconductors. Well, NBIS is not semiconductors, but other AI name. Looks like Nvidia, Zilch, no move over there. I think Nvidia has like stake in NBIS, doesn't it? Let's go take a look at NBIS holders. Hey, where's the holders? Okay. If we can't get the info on Perplexity Finance dashboard directly, we're going to have to go ahead and do some research through Perplexity AI by having them to go through the SEC filings for us. So I don't see Nvidia in these lists. Maybe they're in the other advisors, but I thought they were. 2 Sigma. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really see them. Anyways. Coming back, Microsoft making a move from the news? Not at all, but I'm pretty sure they had a Microsoft partnership. So I guess only NBIS making a move off of that news. Shout out to them. Very, very important name over there. Micron, actually, let's come back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I think with the positive catalyst over here is actually not going to break down too much. So keep an eye out for that one. Probably just trading sideways. Microsoft tried to break down a couple of days ago, and today just nothing burger. with the positive catalyst with NBIS, maybe, you know, it's looked as a good thing and doesn't really start pushing down. It depends on the market, obviously, but I don't really have too solid of a trade idea on Nvidia. It's the same idea on Nvidia as Microsoft, which is if it starts to get below this 490, 492, possibly some leakage, especially given that day's low. We tried to hold Friday's low today, so if we're getting below today's low and Friday's low tomorrow and continue to stay weak under that, I could see Microsoft opening up some room to the downside, so keep an eye out for that. That is a decent trade setup. But for Nvidia, I mean, I'm not really, it's a similar setup, but it's not as clean as Microsoft, so higher importance Microsoft. AMD has given up quite a bit of its gains, which is sad. You could look for the 3-bar breakdown tomorrow on Nvidia below 149 if the market's weak. I think that could open up some room to the downside also. So yeah, I'm not opposed to that trade idea. Micron, however, on the opposite direction, looks like it's getting ready for a breakout over here, right back into the 52-week high. Got above Friday's high today, but didn't really manage to stay above Friday's high. So if we stay above today's high and Friday's high tomorrow, which is basically $132, getting above 132, 132.50 would make the stock bullish for a long. If the market's green, then you have you know, one stock to the upside, you have one stock to the downside. If the market's red, so making scenarios like this is always a good thing for you. Have a basket, a sympathy for that basket, you know, semiconductors name, AI names, one for the short side trade and one for the long side trade. If the market's green, look for the long side. If the market's red, look for the short side. It's very simple, right? AVGO made an all-time high not too long ago off the earnings report, just kind of trading sideways around that midpoint area, exactly what I want to see. With I don't think the NBIS deal does anything to it, so just let AVGO do its thing. TEM finally getting above the $80 area, but still some hurdles above 80 for it to get through. So, you know, not trying to get too excited, but it's a name that could go absolutely bonkers if it wants to. So just being patient, letting the stock work for me. I'm in the money quite a bit, letting the stock work for me. More interested to see how it reacts on the dips into the 9-day moving average and the 21-day moving average. Currently holding very well above the earnings VWAP, so my stop is the earnings VWAP. If we start holding below the earnings VWAP, I'll take my loss and I'll move on. But for now, you know, it's giving me opportunities to start taking profits on pops. So getting a pop into 91, look to take profits, buy back on the lows, and keep recycling your shares in and out. Make that money while the money is being offered. Make sunshine when it rains or something. I don't know the saying, but you guys get the idea. HIMS, another day up to the north side, but volume is okay. It's not the best. Relative volume is also alright. Recent breakout, reclaiming the moving averages, trying to reclaim earnings VWAP. I think it's worth keeping an eye on. It's just not the most exciting name tomorrow. There's a lot of other exciting names over here for us to talk about. Where was I? Where did HIMS come from? Oh, there it is, HIMS. QS. That one had a monster move to the upside today. We'll deal with Volkswagen. So basically getting back into the earnings VWAP over here. Struggling around earnings VWAP a little bit, but managing to stay above $10, $9.70 would make the stock, you know, continue to be bullish after this pop. So that is, what do you call it? Episodic pivot. A lot of give back. Usually you don't see episodic pivots giving back 50-day moving average. But another positive catalyst and then bouncing right back above the 50-day moving average. So looking for long around 970 to 10 on QS would be a good spot if buyers do show up over there, because I think there's more upside possible on this name. RR, robotics name, bouncing right off the 21-day moving average after its initial run up. This one, I previously complained a lot about missing that breakout. now I don't really have an excuse because it pulled back, and not only did it pull back, it did exactly what I wanted to do, bounce off the 21-day moving average. So, you know, I might have to start buying some shares of RR here, looking for that monster run up that is eventual. I mean, robotics is talked about everywhere now. Every corner I see on Twitter, on social media, there's some post about some robot doing some fancy thing, like making a glass of beer, or pouring a glass of beer, or making a cocktail, or there's this new robot I saw today that is drawing floor plans on concrete for you know, home builders and so on, and the robot's gonna do a much better, much accurate job than a person doing it with the ruler and a rope and so on, right? So it's robotics are just taking over everywhere. So RR being one of them, around $3. If it starts to hold 3 or higher, I'm very interested to see for a long on the swing and on the day side, especially if we do get a positive catalyst over here. MBOT, not sure what the catalyst is, but this one also blasted off and actually going into a double top resistance area. So possibly some opportunities above that double top over here. Weakness around 450 would kill the idea, but any strength around 450 would be your trigger. So buying and strength around 450 is your trigger to look for that long through 460, 470, and so on. So MBOT, I'm gonna put 450 as my inflection level, and keep an eye on this one too. Soundhound making a move back up to the north side, not bad at all. But I feel like I missed the move a little bit maybe. You know, nice little pullback, exactly how RR looked. RR, which is Soundhound kind of in the AI sector, not really in the robotics, but the chart is similar, right? Broke out, held, and now trying to break out again. So RR is in this stage right here where a sound has prepared its ignition, it's prepared the liftoff. So I'm looking for RR to do something like that. In terms of Soundhound, I know, just keep an eye on it. Volume's slowly coming back into the upside as the stock is going back up. IWM is pushing into all-time highs. Soundhound is currently pushing back into $17. So any struggle in this area possibly gives you a short scalp, but then getting above this area, things could get exciting. Last time we saw how nasty Soundhound could get. So you don't want to miss out on that one. NTNX, I don't remember what the catalyst is on NTNX, but the quick trade setup that I saw was a possible short around 77.50, around 78, but getting above 77.50, 78 would open up a lot of room to the upside. So keep an eye out for that 77.50, 78 area. I'm watching as a possible brick wall resistance tomorrow, and then getting above that zone would open up some room on this name to the upside. Canada Goose making a pop on a what is it, analyst rating, which makes sense. You know, fall, winter right around the corner. People like to look good in these Canada Goose jackets. They cost a lot, so we'll see. However, this company has never made profit. You know, they cost a lot, so we'll see if it ends up being a good trade for us to set up in. Above the 200-day moving average, nice little double top into 1550. The earnings is quite a bit of a way out. I think 51 days out before their earnings report. So I'm not sure if the analyst catalyst is enough for a breakout above 1550. If Canada Goose is struggling around 1550, that might be your short. But any buying above that, that's your long. ETSY also had a nice pop up to the north side today. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the catalyst at all. Maybe you can help me over here. Okay, we actually have a news article as to why Etsy blasted off today. Let's go check it out. Oh, Nutanix, cloud software, Nutanix, Nutanix. I don't care how it's 8% after it's added to the S&P 500 index. Ah, there you go. Where is Etsy? For fourth straight green day in a week, last week the company announced it appointed a new chief of product and technology officer. So for that, it's been going up for the last few days. Okay, not really a big deal, but I guess, you know, market's loving it. They're giving it the move over here. I love when a stock does this type of move, just straight green, 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 because the more greens you give me, the better the downside move is. So keep an eye out for Etsy. It is going into that basket of stocks where it is too extended for the short term. I don't know if it's there just yet. I might have to bring in another let me see here. My other indicator should be okay, just getting close. It's getting close to that 4 or 5 ATR in the 5-day time period zone. Once it gets over there, then it's just getting ready to start looking for that first red day short setup. So keep going. The higher you go, the more I'm gonna be happy to short the crap out of you, Etsy. Bitcoin, I guess with OCTO possibly not going to the downside too hard. Let's actually quickly zoom up over here to see how Bitcoin did today. Not bad, I guess. Yeah, not bad. Because of that, Coinbase not really flushing too far down just yet. Coinbase holding still in that range. Whenever that range breaks on Coinbase, that is going to be something to keep an eye on. Let me open up that other indicator or other layout down here. What is the stream layout? There we go. So Coinbase getting below 290, 291.50. Whenever that happens, I'm still gonna keep watching it. But right now, it just looks like they're you know, accumulating shares. They're buying up. There's a clear, obvious buyer in the zone, and he, she, they, them, her are soaking up shares. Very similar to how MicroStrategy set up on that breakdown not too long ago, right here. So if Coinbase does set up for that breakdown, you know, I want to be ready for it. Last but not least will be, well, we still have Klarna. So let's quickly just talk about, oh, I want to highlight this as a different color. Quickly go over some of the large cap names. Tesla kind of had a red day if I remember correctly. Yep, red day today, but still, you know, we're waiting for that breakout of the upper trend line. Nice solid wedge on the daily, nice solid wedge on the weekly. Look at the weekly base, sideways base that we're going. We're so close to the 200 weekly moving average on Tesla here. If Tesla manages to start making a breakout run to the upside, ladies and gentlemen, this stock will not stop before it goes through 420, 500. I mean, it's just a matter of time when this happens. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm so locked and loaded and ready for this breakout. So let's see what happens over here. Josh saying, wow, NBIS. Yes sir, NBI is going nuts. Is this going even higher than 115, 110? Sorry, we saw it at 110. No, not 110. 102 is where we saw it at, and it did make another high above 102 to 109. Generational fumble. Generational fumble. What a absolute shit show. Sucks to suck, ladies and gentlemen. Sucks to suck. Okay, coming back to the last few stocks I want to track here. Google. Pretty sure Google is near all-time high zone still. Yeah, nothing really to do there. First red day setup coming in anytime soon on Google. I'm not sure. We'll be patient for that one. Meta, I don't really day trade Meta. How is it for the swing side? Not the best setup at the moment. Where's Amazon? Amazon had a decent setup for the day trade. Looks like it wants to set up. It failed today, but another opportunity in the next few days. We'll see if buyers can come in above this 236 area. And Apple, are you still behaving? You are. You did pull back today, but you're still behaving, which means you're holding above the 9-day moving average for me. That's important. I don't want to see it below that. Okay, let's go do some quick research on the IPO, and that will be the last segment of the stream today. Quickly go see what we can find about this awesome IPO tomorrow called Klarna. CLAR is the ticker. Klarna Group is a technology company building the next generation commerce network. We have built one of the largest commerce networks in the world, measured by the number of consumers and merchants, serving approximately 93 million active Klarna consumers and more than 675 merchants in 26 countries. Pretty sure Klarna is an Affirm sympathy, right? They are in the same business as Affirm. Our flexible and personalized products, trusted consumer brand, global distribution, and proprietary scalable infrastructure are the foundations enabling us to become our consumers' everyday spending and saving partner. Available everywhere and for everything. Through our history, we have consistently innovated and challenged the status quo, evolving our network from a consumer-focused payment to a global commerce network that enables merchant success. So pretty recent business model, the whole buy now pay later model. They are competing with, if I remember correctly, with what you call it, with Affirm, and they're actually growing. I'm getting distracted because my Discord group over here is sharing memes, and they're talking about NBIS and talking about another trader who traded NBIS and absolutely slammed it. This guy is a killer. I respect this guy so much. An absolute killer, this guy. Shout out to my dude. Wait, that's not it. Shout out to my dude Valkyrie for killing this stock. I mean, look at him go. He's long 68. He's up 56% or 50% on this trade. Wow. You are on fire. Heard it on Benzinga, but the news was from the Form 6 filing out at 6 p.m. Wow. Hey, what did I say? You gotta have Benzinga at your disposal. I was actually going to turn on Benzinga Squawk for the stream, but I was again unprepared for the stream, so I did not turn it on. I also might need to fund a broker that I can properly trade after hours, because my broker is mobile. It's basically the Canadian Robinhood. So I might need to open a proper IBKR account so I can trade after hours, because I would have been able to catch that NBIS trade through 87 at the very least, even if not through 60 like my friend Valkyrie over here. I would have at least been catching it through 87. Wow, what a miss. So sucks to suck again, ladies and gentlemen. But it's okay. These are good problems to have. Good problems to have because we know the solutions. Coming back to doing my research about this company, Klarna, that's IPOing tomorrow. The range is between $35 to $37. I will not be surprised if the stock opens somewhere around $40. So this is the pre-IPO data. Let's go to the max price of the stock based on pre-IPO. Basically, this is from round fundings and so on, how much money they raised. You can see how this is around $45, that high right there. So I could expect the stock opening up around 45 or above 45, and then we'll see obviously what kind of madness happens on this name. Shout out to notice.co. You can view almost any private company's price over here. For example, Anthropic currently trading at $160. This is an AI company. You can bring up SpaceX trading at around $200 per share. So just an idea of what the valuation is for these private companies before they go public, and thankfully one of them is going public tomorrow. This is actually a very hot IPO week we have going on. There's an IPO almost every single day. Klarna 30 to 37. 34 million shares offered, $1.24 billion deal size. And the main thing that I want to see is the company growing year over year, and the answer is yes. That's honestly the only thing that matters. Look at the PE ratio, however. The PE ratio is ridiculous. They are currently trading 4,000 times their earnings. So monster ratio over there. Not the best ratio you want to see, but we are currently in a market environment where these PE ratios don't matter at all. We've seen wild PE ratios. So maybe this ratio goes even higher tomorrow based on how high the stock price goes. So keep an eye on Klarna without a doubt. Big IPO to trade. Since it's on the NASDAQ market, hopefully, oh nope, it's on the New York market, so probably not opening late. Anywhere between 12 to 1 o'clock is my guess is when it opens. Be careful. More IPOs rest of the week, so make sure you tune in every single day 4:30 p.m. For me to cover these for you. What are we missing? I'm missing economic calendar, so let's talk about the econ calendar here. And no, this is not a lipstick. Stop calling it a lipstick. This just held something that is still illegal in America but very much legal in Canada. Okay, it's just a container. Economic calendar tomorrow. Nothing burger. I guess I shouldn't say nothing burger. Let's actually turn on the 2 stars also and go check out what tomorrow holds. But mainly 3 stars are the important ones, and those are on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesday and Thursday of this week. We have PPI and CPI this week. So CPI obviously a very important economic number, so make sure that you're tuned in for that one. Tomorrow, no 3 stars, only 2 stars. You have a 3-year bond auction that could possibly move the market, possibly not, but possibly move the market. Worth keeping an eye on also. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the stream today. If you have any names that you want me to take a look at, this is your last chance, because I think I've been streaming for what, an hour and a half today. That's possibly the longest stream in a very long time for me. Given that we are streaming around earnings and hot movers, it's possible that our stream times are gonna go more than an hour and a half daily. So longer stream times, but earlier stream times. Let your friends know, let your family members know that TraderPrad is now at a much earlier schedule, so we could get a bigger party to chart with and a bigger party to talk stocks with. Thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna roll out the outro, or roll in the outro. I'm gonna actually play the music from Complexity Radio because the outro needs to be updated. We no longer stream at 8 p.m. and the outro says 8 p.m. So no outro, but you guys get to enjoy Perplexity music. It's time for me to call it. Peace. Go make some money tomorrow. Bye-bye.